Well, to be fair, I did not expect Blizzard to be answering so quickly. At the end of the day, Season 3 is some 2+ months away, so they had some time to, think about, calculate, ponder what they were going to do about this problem. We are talking, of course, about the problem of a couple of days ago when we mentioned the state of the third-party software and the overlay that could be put in-game. The TLDR of that video, if you haven't watched it, but you should, is that roughly, 70% of the data that is in the combat log is blocked from being able to be read by add-ons in-game. You have to go outside of the game to be able to fully read the log on something like Warcraft logs, for example, which can show you everything, even down, for example, to the position of the players, where the mechanics are happening, the circles, the lines of the mechanics, etc., etc. These are things that you can check in the combat log outside of the game, but Blizzard doesn't want you to have that much data and information inside of the game. So players realized, thanks to a post from Warcraft logs showing they made an in-game overlay from their third-party software for a damage meter, helping you see the real damage of an augmentation evoker in-game without having to go and see the logs after the fight. Players realized, hold on a second, what if I made a third-party software showing, for example, the map of the encounter with the visible mechanics, the visible circles or the lines or the bombs showing up of different boss mechanics and all that stuff. After all, I am reading the full combat log from a software outside of the game, which is perfectly legal. I am also using an overlay in-game, which is also perfectly legal. You can have your, AMD or NVIDIA driver overlays in your game. You can have a Discord overlay in your game. It's totally possible to have that. There is no issue with that. So why don't we use these overlays, these third-party softwares to give us all these juicy info we can up to now only get from sites, from other features outside of the game? Well, Blizzard took issue with that quite quickly. They released a statement saying that third-party programs using the game's combat logs to draw overlays during raid fights. About that, they intend to make changes to how the advanced combat log is populated in advance of Dragonflight Season 3 that will prevent its use in this way. Now, in case everyone starts to worry about this and be like, wait, what about things like WoW Analyzer, raid bots? What about Warcraft logs? Does this mean these sites are no longer going to be able to draw data from the advanced combat log after this change? No. Let's not jump to that conclusion already. This change is explicitly for the use of overlays in-game. It's just specifically for allowing you to have this data drawn out of the combat log and put it in a nice, tidy form for you to use in-game. Now, of course, there is the question about what if someone in 2023 has the incredible technology of being able to own 2 monitors and instead of using a software or a handmade script to create an overlay in-game, simply leaves it outside of the game, simply puts it in a different window, in a different screen, in a different site, and benefits from that regardless. Well, that's another thing, that's another discussion. We will have to see exactly what will Blizzard be changing their terms of service, their user agreement with in regards to this feature. Still though, even though we don't have quite the full change of Blizzard on this matter, we do at least have an idea that Blizzard clearly is not okay with this new, or we could say with this old trick now being used again in a new form, also given by the pretty quick response time. It's basically been a couple of days since we have started to see these overlays pop up again, and Blizzard was quite quick in pointing out, just in case, players would have started to get some wrong ideas about what to do with these features. Blizzard came out and said, we are planning on doing something about it before the release of the next tier. We still have 2+ months before the next tier, so there is plenty of time to come up with a solution to this. It is still, though, worthwhile pointing out, not throwing shade at Blizzard, that if the mechanics of the raid fights were being developed in such a way where the mechanic was clear and easy to understand and also easy to manage with the already existing in-game add-ons like, DBM, Bigwigs or Weak Auras, we definitely would not need to resort to try to use in-game overlays for some much harder to deal with and much harder to organize with mechanics like, for example, the hearts of Neltarion, perhaps even the bombs of the Jailer, the pairing mechanic of Anduin, even understanding the whole mess around the Skarn, right? All of these mechanics, right, if they were fleshed out in a bit more easy to understand manner, perhaps they would not have required some players to start thinking about drawing more data, more info from the combat log to picture out overlays in your game to try to make that mechanic more easy to understand. So, with the knowledge that these overlays are planned to be disabled by the time Season 3 comes, we hope we can also rest in the knowledge that Blizzard might come up with some more fleshed out and clean mechanics in the next raid that won't make you miss the fact that you could have gotten some overlays to deal with these mechanics a little bit more easily in the next raid. But for now, this was the point of today's video, the announced, because we haven't got it yet, but the announced banning of the use of these third-party softwares overlays in-game using the data from the advanced combat log, which will still not do anything to any already existing site or place where you go and look for your WoW info, your logs, etc, etc. Those features using the advanced combat log will still work just as fine as they are now, right? So dispelling any possible fears about that, it's time to leave each other once more today. So starting, of course, with the goodbyes by thanking all of the Patreon supporters for the contribution and help to the growth of the channel, which can, of course, still be given completely for free. You can like and comment down below, as well as subscribe to the channel itself. Now, with these pointless things out of the way, thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, it's good. I finished in time. We are about 2 minutes away from raid invites on today's clear, so I'm happy with how quick this was done.